to take you guys along for my full week's training. So we're starting here on Monday, got down to the field nice and early, and we're going to do a session that focuses on speed, power, a little bit of acceleration work, and then finish with some fitness. All right, so the first session we got for this week is just a speed session on the field. First thing I'm going to do is work through my warm-up, starting light, building through it. So just get the heart rate up, work through full range of motion through like a variety of different exercises, and then from there, we'll just build it up into the first exercises from the session. All right, so first things first, let's get warm. This is just my standard warm-up that I'll do whenever I'm on the field. Just starting off with some jogs. That was just a quick activation, get the heart rate up a little bit. Now I'll work through some dynamic stretches. Warm-up's complete without this one. World's greatest stretch. Alright, so we're just going to take those stretches and ranges of motion that we just worked through, and we're going to make them a little bit more intensive. Just start building up the speed, building up the intensity. Like my specific warm-up done. I'm going to use a couple of plyos now to build in to the rest of the session, but from here on in we're working. Okay, so the first exercise I'm going to work through is some leg drives using the wall here, getting a nice isometric contraction through the calf, through the hamstrings, and then just practicing driving through with that hip. So looks like this. Alright, so we just finished up with the wall leaning drives. Now we're going to start to ramp the intensity up again, going into some bounds here. So 3 sets of 10 reps. Okay, that's the bounding done. So now we're going to increase the intensity again into single leg high hop, fast hops. Okay, that's the plyometrics done for the first part of the session. Got one more, but it's more power based, so I'm going to save that for after I do my sprints, just to make sure I'm fresh for my sprints. After doing those first plyos, I feel nice and warm. Let's get into it now. Okay, so getting into the sprinting part of the session now. First exercise I've got is a 10-yard rolling sprint, and this is just a nice way to work at top speed without having the acceleration phase so much. So approximately 10 yards, just middle of the goal to the other side of the 6-yard box. You've got plenty of space to build into it. Use that space depending on what you need to accelerate, how quickly you want to accelerate, etc. I'm going to do the first on like 80 to 90%, and then I'll do 3 sets at maximum intensity. So let's get into it. Okay, so that was about 80, 90% just to build into it a little bit. Now let's get into the 3 sets, 100% intensity. As you're doing your top speed work here, it's just so important to be disciplined with the rest between your sets. You're doing 10 yards, which doesn't feel like a load of intensity. You could probably feel like you recover pretty quick. But if you actually want to be able to reach top speed on every single one, you've got to give yourself a couple of minutes rest between, just to make sure that you're able to produce 100% intensity and actually reach top speed. At the end of the day, that's the only way that you're going to get faster. Second one coming up now. That rep felt a little bit better than the last one. I washed the first one back, looked a little bit stiff, so I tried to relax a little bit more through that one, which is essential for when you're sprinting at top speed. You don't want to be tight, just relax and trust yourself to produce that force. On this final rep here, I'm going to try to show you a little bit more of the building, just that rolling start, building in slowly, using that slow build up to stay relaxed, getting into this final sprint. Okay, now we've got some reps in of just pure top speed. Now we're going to add in that acceleration phase, go for 40-yard dashes. Side of the pitch to the opposite post, around 40 yards. Going to do these from a 3-point start, even though it's not the position you'd be accelerating from as a footballer. Just teaching yourself to be in solid acceleration positions, positive body angle, positive shin angle, low heel recovery, stuff like that. It's still going to be applicable as a footballer. So especially further away from the start of the season, I like to use stuff like this. And then as we progress towards pre-season, then we can start getting a little bit more specific with the positions that we're starting from. Okay, so that was just over 200 yards there of distance spent at top speed. That's like a nice range to be in within a session, especially when you've got other training goals as well, like other plyometrics, some accelerations, change of directions, fitness, whatever it is. That kind of 200, 300 yards is my range, but I'll stay to the lower end, like I said, if I'm doing other stuff in that session. Now we got those top end sprints done. We're going to get into some more power-based plyometrics, or just one more power-based plyometric with a triple broad jump. That's the speed and power stuff done. Gonna get into my fitness now. I did want to film this, but I forgot my watch, so I need my phone to time me. But essentially what it's gonna be is a fartlek style of training. Gonna go from the goal line here down to the edge of the opposite 18 in 20 seconds, and then gonna jog back in 40 seconds, and gonna do that 20 times. So I'm gonna do that now, and that's the end of the session. All right, so that is the 20-40s done. That's the end of the session for today. So be back tomorrow with an upper body session in the gym. Yeah, so in case you didn't believe me, you can tell I'm absolutely dying. Okay, it's Tuesday, so this morning session is going to be an upper body session in the gym. So I'm going to take you with me and show you exactly what I do.
Next up, we've got Wednesday's session. So in this session here, I'm going to get my big compound lower body movements done, a couple of additional plyometrics, and then some accessory work like isometrics and some more isolation-based movements, all focused primarily around the lower body. So first, let's warm up, and then let's get into it.
Friday, so we're back on the field for another speed, agility, power session. Potentially going to get some fitness in at the end today, just so that I don't have to do it tomorrow, just making my week fit a little bit better. Once again, I'm going to take you through this whole session, show you my warm-up, show you how I prep for the sprints, what sprints I'm doing, what other plyometrics, change of direction stuff I'm doing as well. Okay, that's the warm-up done, so I'm going to get into the main session now, starting off with single leg pogos, 15 reps each side. Alright, we're going to get the boots on now and get into the more intensive part of the session. Alright, We're going to get into our speed work now. So here I've split the 6-yard box in half lengthways. So that's 2 10 yards. And then I've just marked out another 10 yards in my shoe down there. I'm going to work through the fly, float, fly drill. So essentially what that is I'm going to be 100% sprint from this line here to the middle of the goal. Then going to relax to like 90% until the second line of the 6-yard box. And then until I get to the shoe down there, it's going to be back to 100%. And essentially what this is going to help me to do is relax at top speed, which is essential if you want to be able to reach and maintain that speed. So first, just going to build into this with like a 70, 80, 90 build just for 1 rep, and then I'll get into it. Okay, we're going to get into the first of 3 of these reps now. All right, so that's the fly, float, fly done. And now we're gonna get into some 40-yard dashes. So 4 of these now. Okay, that's the top speed stuff done. I'm running a little bit short on time, so I'm going to condense some of my accelerations, agility, and just kind of go through what I'm feeling, try and get 6 to 10 accelerations done. Maybe some of those include a change of direction. So I'm going to work through those now and then finish off the session with some fitness. The rain's starting to kill me a little bit here, but we'll do our best. Okay, so that's all of the speed, power, agility stuff done. And now we're going to finish off this session with some fitness. For this, I'm going to be doing edge of the 18 to the goal line to halfway back to the 18. Aiming to do that in around 30 seconds and then rest 30 seconds. So a 1-to-1 work to rest ratio and just an interval style of training, getting a little bit more specific compared to what we did on Monday where we had that fartlek style of training. So I'm going to get into that now. I'm going to aim for around 20 reps here.
So for the final session of the week, we're back in the gym for a full body session. So in this session, I'm going to prioritize all of the movements that involve the entire body working together, primarily to produce loads of force. And I really like having this full body session in at the end of the week, as it just helps me get any of those movements from the upper or lower body that I feel like I've missed over the week and just get them into the program. And it also allows me to be a little bit more flexible. So if the lower body's feeling sore, I can push it more towards upper body. And if the lower body feels like it hasn't had so much work, then I can increase the load on this final day of the week. Okay, and that is the end of my training week. So I really hope you guys found this useful. Hopefully it gives you, first off, a good idea of how to structure your workouts throughout the week as a footballer. And it also gives you an idea of 5 different training sessions that you could be doing, all of which are going to improve your performance on the pitch by getting you faster, stronger, and more powerful. So if you want to see more videos like this, please make sure you subscribe, and any recommendations or requests you have, then please put them down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.